Nice. Ooh-wee! The future is bright here on Shano Trades. I'm hoping that your future is looking just as shiny. Welcome back and thank you for being here. It is Monday, December 13th, 2021, the year of the baby Jesus. The baby Jesus is my favorite Jesus. Shano and RNMN are back on that ass for a new week of predictions. What do we got on the docket? RNMN and I are bringing you two predictions this week. We have Ethereum and MATIC. Along with that, I also have end-of-year predictions on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Until after the holiday season, Shano Trades is going to be doing just two predictions a week, and then we're going to be updating on the end of year for Bitcoin and Ethereum as the next couple weeks progress. I'm busy, you're busy, holidays, got it. I still want to provide content. It just won't be as in-depth because this stuff does take a long time to put together. One-man show for now. So without further ado, let's get to it. Well, folks, it has been quite a rough morning. There's been a significant drop in the market. So before I pull up all the angles, because you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff come at you at once, I wanted you to be able to see it without any angles on there. We've experienced a significant drop since the start of this morning. I put this chart together at 2 o'clock this morning. Yeah, I'm kind of an insomniac, so that's kind of what I do. But even since then, since 2 o'clock this morning, we've experienced a 9% drop, which is pretty significant. So what the hell is going on? We're looking at December 8th, our most recent high, which was at a price of $4,491. Also, our 0 degree. The 0 degree right here, this is where we start shooting our angles from. So our downward angles are always in yellow. From this high that took place 5 days ago, I see that this big jump that we had in the middle of the night, last night, reacted to the minus 36 off of this high. Especially with the continued sell-off down to this point. The fundamental metrics are saying that it should be done. This sell-off should be done, but we're going to continue to keep our eye on it to see if we need to progress down past the minus 22 degree. I see price coming back down to here. Now that we have found our bottom, I believe that we are going to take the minus 29 due to the convergence of all these angles coming from the tops and the bottoms. This is what I'm going to call the neutral area, and that's why that little homie Pedro be posted up in the yellow. I foresee at the end of the week we will still be in this range between $3,950 and $4,050. However, if we do somehow break out of this neutral range, we're kind of glued to the $4,000 level. If we can break out of this $3,950 to $4,050 range that I've identified with the yellow box and the little homie Pedro, if we can break out of this little channel, I foresee a primary target in what I'm calling my Ethereum weekly prediction of $4,377.73. Also, to any of those following along or wanting to follow along, this right here where it says scale equals 2.618, what that is that's how we keep our angles in place. You go down here, you'll hit this little lock price to bar ratio, and these angles will not change. See? Still minus 36. So that is what that scale equals 2.618 means for anybody that's following along or anybody that knows charts. All right, here we are on to MATIC, our number 2 for the week. MATIC was one of my winners last week, and I intend on keeping that trend going. We can see the drop is market wide. But as you saw with Ethereum a minute ago, there's a big drop, and that's pretty much going to be reflected market wide across all the coins. Bringing up our angles, let's go ahead and take a peek. So just like on Ethereum, I believe that we're going to continue to stay in a neutral range, and for MATIC, I foresee that being the $2.02 range to the $2.08 range. There's our due. How'd I come to this? Okay. So similar to Ethereum, we can see that 5 days ago on December 8th, that MATIC reached its most recent high. This price level right here of 258 is actually the prediction that we made last week for the secondary target, which was one of my accurate predictions, which was one of my wins. But since we hit that high, it has been quite a little bit of a tumble. It's been a significant tumble since last week when we hit our high. Since that time, we're currently down 31.2%. Yikes. One thing I'm going to continue to emphasize is that every bottom and every top is the start of a new Rain Man fan. What does that mean? What does the Rain Man fan mean? What does the fan mean? So look at the fan structure. When we start pulling angles out from a central point, minus 43, minus 29. If you meet them all at the 0 point and you bring all of these angles out, down, or in this, or in the blue, up, it's gonna resemble a fan, a 90-degree fan with 10 angles that identify price. And the great thing about it is that every high and every low will give you a set of data to work with. It will give you a set of levels that the angles that will identify. Those levels that are identified by the angles is where we enter trades, is where we exit trades, that's where we take profits, and that's where we make sure that we can exit trades in a stop loss. That's to come in the future. Since our recent victory of that 258 level, like I said, we've taken a big old tumble, 31%. I'm using the +8 here off of this bottom, which occurred on the 3rd of December, as our current support, the +8. The high that I've identified here with the 0 degree, the minus 43, that is also acting as support. Here we have identified two levels of support, the +8 and the minus 43. So right now, I'm just going to keep chopping around right here, and we'll eventually catch on to this +43 degree angle. I see us continuing to bounce around these levels, and if this +8 does hold up, moving up this 43 to my identified bull prediction of $2.40. I came to the 43 because I see that the -8 coming off of our most recent high of $2.58 and our +43 off of what we have identified as our bottom. These 2 points meeting and intersecting, this is how I came up with the $2.40 for my bull prediction this week. On the flip side, if this nasty little downtrend just keeps on coming, and we do come down to meet this, or come down to challenge this support that we made on December 3rd at a price of approximately $1.62. If this continues, I think that we'll bounce around between the 43, the 29, and end up by the end of the week at around this $1.69 level. But there's really nothing in the pipe that I've foreseen that's significant in a fundamental sense, really for anything crypto market wide. So I'm going to stick to my neutral. Little homie Pedro, he likes that $2.02 to $2.08 range. And so does your boy Shano. So that's what we're going to call for MATIC. We're going to stay neutral here. One thing I forgot to mention is before I switch over to the Bitcoin and the Ethereum charts for the end of year predictions, I wanted to be known that I'm going to be on the daily charts for those. What you've seen on the weekly the last couple weeks for our predictions, we've been on the 30-minute chart. All right, so when we switch over to the Bitcoin, it's going to be on the daily. What's the difference? On the 30-minute chart, each one of these candles represents 30 minutes. You guessed it, on the daily chart, each one of these candles represents 1 day, 24 hours. Bitcoin daily, I pushed out to the day after Christmas, 12/26/21. That puts us 13 days from right now, so just shy of 2 weeks. There's a whole lot going on here because this chart goes all the way back to April. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot of data, so there's a lot of stuff going on. I know it looks crazy. So because there's so much data here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and call out the predictions. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing off the highs and lows because that's what we're looking for. So as I'm writing this, we're at 46,571 for Bitcoin midday on December 13th. What I'm seeing is price coming down into this +50 from our most recent bottom, which took place on December 4th. I see price continuing to travel down the -50 that is identified here from the top that took place on 10/20/21. It is trying to break through this -50 support. It will continue to ride this yellow -50 into this +50, and I think from there it will work its way back up to this 48,500 level. If that doesn't happen, the bear targets that I see would just simply be price continuing to follow this minus 50 down to my primary bear prediction, which is a price level of $43,451.36. If this downtrend sell-off does continue on, I see price truly breaking free of this minus 50 and coming down to the minus 57, right, which is also from October 20th. It's going to come from this minus 50 down to this minus 57, and I see a potentiality. Absolute worst case scenario, my secondary end of year bear prediction is $35,944.56. But I hate being a bear, so I want to talk about the bull predictions. So for the bull predictions, as I previously mentioned, this plus 50, if it does act as a solid support, price could find its way into the 64, which is exactly how I came up with my first primary bull prediction for the end of the year of $55,148.86. And you can already see off of the same bottom where we get our neutral and our primary bull predictions. We get our secondary end of year bull prediction of $61,760.49 being expressed by the plus 71 degree angle. Again, I know it's a lot going on. I'm not even going to get into all this over here because I'm not trying to fry your brain. Not trying to insult your intelligence, but it's a lot to take in. All right, Ether end of year, same thing as Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin daily chart, I only went out to December 26th for Ethereum. I took it all the way out to the first of the year. So we're looking from present time, so from present day right here, 12/13/21. We're looking out to the first of the year, New Year's Day. So I've identified what I foresee as the daily range as it stands right now. I've identified these levels with these orange zeros, all right? Just like I mentioned before, every high and every low is the central point for where we start our fan angles from. So going all the way back to our previous high, which took place on May 12th of this year, I am seeing the minus 8 degree representing support for this major drop. It started on the 1st of December. Since the 1st of December, that drop was actually a total of 25%. There has been some recovery since then, but we are experiencing some more volatility. Using this minus 8 and the price level that it caught right here at this 35.82, our level of support is going to be represented by the plus 22 degree right here off of our bottom, which took place on June 22nd of this year. So we can see that the intersection of the minus 8 degree and the plus 22 degree off of these significant highs and lows are still coming into play all these weeks and months later. So we have a solid bit of support identified with the intersection of these two angles. So what do we do from there? Every low is a reset of our fan, correct? So we go ahead and start identifying potential price paths with the Rain Man fans angles. We talked about with MATIC earlier on the weekly chart. It's mostly just sideways action right now. You know, we're waiting for a major catalyst, waiting for some regulation to come through, waiting for some good news, something. So the way the chart looks to me, and with what I can clarify with the angles, I'm going to stick to a prediction path of this plus 22 that has acted as support several times. Once here, once here. All right, and still acting as support. I'm just going to go ahead and call it simple and say this $4,000 level where Pedro is sitting right now. All right, we see the line right here, 39.10.71 where Pedro's sitting. That's where I see. I see price kind of just bouncing around right in here between all these levels and kind of settling in right here in a neutral position, a neutral posture at this $3,910 level. However, if we can somehow get some good volume in, if we can get some catalyst, if we can get something, we can push up, or we can continue our current downtrend. From Ethereum's most recent high, which took place on November 10th, I'm seeing a negative angle of 43 being a very clear path. That gives us my primary end of year bear target, $3,485.38. If price continues to bounce around, I can see the 50 still staying in play with maximum downside. Worst case scenario, my secondary end of year bear target for Ethereum is $3,063.08. So let's talk about our bull targets. Looking at our bull targets, looking at our bull predictions, I don't see price exceeding anything over the 64. It just, the way things have been going over the last couple months, or the last couple weeks, I just don't see that big of a movement coming without a major catalyst, which could happen. I'm not ruling it out. It's just, it seems unlikely at this point. I could see a high likelihood of price reacting to this 43 as it's already done on this major drop from this morning. I could see price riding this 43 up, and this is the likely level, but I want to give you a higher target because these are the ones I see being my true top sides for a true end of year prediction from Shano and from RNMN. For a top side target, I'm going to use the plus 57. If we use the plus 57 off our most recent bottom, which took place on December 4th, that'll take us to a level of 4808, $4,808.40, which is my primary end of year bull target. Then we can hop up our next 7 up to our next angle of plus 64, and that'll give us our secondary end of year bull target, which I am seeing at a price level of $5,264.29. Fingers crossed, people. Truth be told, today was a huge struggle for me to get this video on. The sun just came up when I started. Now the sun's already down and I still haven't posted this damn thing. There's only like 2 people that ever stick around to the end anyway, so yeah, hopefully I can be back on my feet come DeFi Days number 2 on Wednesday.